Alright you guys, so welcome back to my channel. I want to go ahead and do a fun video today because a lot of people have been asking me about my bronzer and my application, because on Instagram when I do post pictures my bronzer always looks really nice, I'm guessing, which is why you guys asked me all those questions. So I want to go ahead and share with you guys my tips and tricks and all of that. So with that being said, make sure you go ahead and like, subscribe, and let's jump right into the video. Alright you guys, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. The reason why I want to go ahead and show you guys how I get my bronzer to pop on dark skin is because as of recently on Instagram and on YouTube, a lot of people have been asking me about my bronzer routine because I guess I'm doing something a little bit different to my skin. So I want to share with you guys the products I've been using, my tips and my techniques and all of that good stuff. So I'm really excited with that. Now before I do go ahead and jump into the application, I do want to share with you guys what I've been doing a little bit different. So back in the day I used to go ahead and conceal my under eyes, set it of course, and then set my whole entire face as well, and then I would go straight into my powder bronzer. Now you can go ahead and still do this of course, but I noticed with me cream bronzing my skin first before I go in with my powder bronzer, it makes the biggest difference on my skin, and that's what I want to share with you guys today. So I do have my cream bronzer that I use all the time, and it's a Juvias Place Katsina foundation stick actually, and this is what it looks like. And then for my cream contour, I always use the Fenty Beauty Espresso Match Stick as well. Now I want to share with you guys the difference between the two because there is a huge difference. So when it comes to your cream contour, of course you guys pretty much know this, but it does help to chisel your face and make sure that everything looks slim and just really structured as well, which is why a lot of people do cream contour. Now when it comes to cream contour, it really doesn't matter what color you use. I mean, sometimes it does, but as long as you have a dark contour shade, you're good to go. Now on the other hand, when it comes to my cream bronzer, I am a little bit more picky with the shade that I do use because I want to make sure that it complements my skin tone of course, and then also I want to make sure that it matches my powder bronzer as well, and I will share with you guys what I do with that. So when it comes to your cream bronzer, you want to make sure that it's enhancing the color of your skin tone already, which is why I went with the shade Katsina, because it has more so of a neutral undertone to it. It's not too red on the skin, it's not too purple. It's a very nice neutral color, and it has hints of orange as well. Now if I do show you guys my powder bronzer, I use the Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer in the shade number 3 tan, and y'all can see with this bronzer, it doesn't pull red, it doesn't pull too deep. It's just a very in-between bronzer, and it's very neutral actually on my skin, and I will show you guys the two next to each other. Now let me swatch my bronzer, because when it comes to bronzers, I know a lot of people out there use different colors. Honestly, there's red bronzers, there's purple bronzers, there's deep bronzers, there's neutral bronzers. It just depends what matches for your skin tone, so please keep that in mind. But for me, I do use this bronzer, and it's more so on the neutral side. So I already know when it comes to this technique, a lot of people are probably going to ask me, how do you know what cream bronzer to pick, because there's so many different tones out there. So what I do suggest is to grab your powder bronzer and then really look at it and see the undertones that you see in your bronzer. All right, for me, I told you guys earlier, I see more so orange colors, it's more so neutral. So I feel like when it comes to my cream bronzer, it has to have the same effect. If your bronzer is more red, make sure you go ahead and get a cream bronzer that's more on the red side. If your bronzer is more on the purple side, make sure you go ahead and use a cream bronzer that's more on the purple side, as y'all can see. But it just all depends on your skin tone. So actually there's one more thing I do want to show you guys, and it's the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Cream Kit, which I used to use back in the day. But I want to show you guys the different undertones you can get in your contour cream kit or also a bronzing kit. It really doesn't matter if it's called a contour product or a bronzing product. It just depends on the undertone. So back in the day when I wanted to contour my cheeks, I would use this shade. As y'all can see, it is the deepest shade in this palette. But if I wanted to bronze my skin, I typically went for this shade and also mix the two together as well. But I just want to show you guys the different undertones that's out there. But to make it easier on you guys, like I said before, just go ahead and look at the bronzing powder you have in your collection and compare your bronzing cream to that, and you should be good to go. So with that being said, I'm ready to go ahead and jump into the application and really show you guys what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna go ahead and conceal my under eyes first, just because that will really help with the contrast on the skin. So I'm using my McGrath Lab Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection concealer in the shade MD22. Y'all, I swear it is such a tongue twister. So let me apply this on the face first. So my concealer is all blended into the skin. So let's move on to cream bronzer. All right, so I do have my Juvias Place Katsina cream bronzer, of course, which I do apply to the perimeter of my face. And I know some people are gonna ask me if they need to cream bronzer or cream bronze all the time. For me, I do it all the time because it does make a huge difference. It makes your skin look very, glowy, and just gives you like this sun-kissed look to the face that I really like. Because with powder bronzer, it is matte typically, so it's not really adding any glow or dimension to the face. But if you do cream bronze, it does make a huge difference, you guys, trust me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply it to the perimeter of my face, and then we'll blend it out. So now that I applied it all over my face, I'm gonna go ahead and use my sponge to blend it into my skin. You can use a brush, of course, but I just prefer a sponge. So let me go ahead and press it into the skin. So y'all can see right now that I really don't have much color going on. So I kind of want to bring the color back into my skin, and that's what cream bronzer does for me. So I'm just gonna blend this out, and then y'all can see what it looks like. And as I blend it into my skin, I do want to point out that you guys remember the Fenty Beauty cream bronzer, the darkest shade. I can't remember what it was called, but I believe it was called Chocolate. Now, that was supposed to be a cream bronzer, but y'all remember when I reviewed it on my channel, that was actually a contour shade on my skin. It had like a gray undertone to it, actually, and it wasn't giving me like life to my skin, if that makes sense. But y'all can see with this, it is just bringing everything together, which is why I love this color. But I hope she comes out with some more shades, because honestly, I think I only had like 2 shades to pick from. So if she does come out with more, then I'll reconsider it. But for now, I really love this foundation stick. Okay, so I hope y'all can see on camera what I see in person, but basically my face doesn't look contoured, it doesn't look chiseled. It looks like I have a nice glow and tan going on. So that's the look I'm always going for, because back in the day, I used to wonder why my face would look so muddy, and it's because I would go ahead and use a contour shade that was way too dark for my skin and apply it all over, then apply my bronzer, and it just never looked good. So when it came to, getting a cream bronzer and the tone that I was looking for, it just makes everything come together. Now, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and set my under eyes really quickly. Then we'll be back to go ahead and apply the bronzer as well on the skin. All right, so time for some bronzer. I'm using my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer in the shade Tan number 3. And for my bronzing brush, I'm actually using my e.l.f. complexion brush. It doesn't call it a bronzing brush, but either way, it still works for me, and I've used it for so many years. Now, I do want to mention that the best part about cream bronzing before you go in with your powder bronzer is the fact that you don't need to use as much product, because your face is ready to go. I just want to add a little bit more color to the face. Now, I'm going to show you guys how I apply my bronzer. I just take some of the bronzer onto the brush, and I kind of go in an upward motion, because you don't want to bring the bronzer all the way down there. You just want to keep it upwards. So this is how I bronze the skin. And y'all can see already what it's doing to my face, because compared to this side, y'all can see right here, it needs a little bit more color. But with this, it's such a natural bronzer on the skin, which is why I love it. And y'all can see it complements the cream bronzer up here, because it just blends right in, as y'all can see. And I have no powder bronzer up here as well, just down here. So I keep going in an upward motion and just apply it. And I'm telling y'all right now, if you haven't tried the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, you're honestly missing out, because it is just so nice and soft on the skin, and it just gives me a natural bronze as well. But y'all can see I'm just applying the bronzer all over, and it just brings everything together as well. Okay, you guys, so what do you think about everything so far? I think it just looks really nice, really just, you know, glowy and just bronzy on the skin. I love doing this trick all the time, but it's still one more thing I do want to share with you guys, especially if you do wear blush, because for some reason blush just enhances your bronzer on your skin as well. So make sure you go ahead and apply blush sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes. Now for blush, what I do use is the Makeup Forever blush, and I feel like on darker skin tones I do prefer an orange blush just because it's more so natural on the skin and it kind of enhances the bronzer as well. So I have this blush, and what I'm gonna do is just kind of sweep it on the cheeks. I'm not applying too much, I just want to enhance the cheek area, as y'all can see. And y'all can just tell right away that it just, I love an orange blush, but it just adds a nice pop to the cheek area. And then after that, I'm going to add my Sephora Colorful Blush, their Hot Flush Blush, which has a little bit of sparkle in it, but it's also orange as well. And what I do with this is I kind of top off the blush I just applied. And y'all will see, like, it just adds a nice glow to the cheeks. And it's not too bright on the skin as well. It's not like you're applying like a pink blush on your face. An orange blush is more so on the neutral side for darker skin tones. So it just kind of enhances everything as well. You guys, I really love how this looks on the face. Like the blush combo right now is doing it for me. All right, I'm telling you, it just takes everything to a whole nother level. But let me go ahead and finish up the rest of my face, and I'll be back to complete the video, of course. So yeah, see y'all in a couple minutes. I don't know why I do this, but okay, so I'm back, and I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you do try any of the tips and tricks, let me know down below. And also, if you do have any questions as well, ask me down below, because y'all know I try to answer every single person in the comments. So go ahead and ask me. But I love you guys so much. Make sure you go ahead and like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one.